some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live?
From the original Walk-Ons, Burbank at Nicholson. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegriff, Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Colucci with us today. Matt Human's with us today. We got a lot of football. Next 5 days, we did this last week, 5 days worth of, really, really compelling football. And all it is, it may be fewer games this week, but it is at the highest stakes, 5 days worth of college and pro football playoff action, and for the colleges, into the semifinals. So it may not be as many games as it was last week, but every one of them has got the highest stakes. Starting today, starting tonight with Ole Miss and Miami, which
quick turnaround, man. After playing a week ago, where you're going to a neutral site, you got to travel back home after the game, after all the celebration, and it's obvious, and just kind of a little bit. I don't know how to feel when I see these quarterfinal bowl game or these even the first round. Post-game celebrations, and the trophy presentation and everything else. It's like, man, they got more to play.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're, when the wild card games this weekend, if Jacksonville beats Buffalo, they're not bringing out a stage.
No,
it is a playoff now.
And it's because
how do you feel about that? Am I the only one?
No, you're not. But it goes. We're reminded that these playoff games are the Sugar Bowl or the Fiesta Bowl. They're long-standing traditions of this. Forever, this was the end of the season. If you won the Fiesta Bowl or the Sugar Bowl or the Orange, whatever, that was the end of your season.
Forever, it was amateur athletics.
That's in name, at least. Yeah, you're right. And it's another one of the reasons that they keep talking about. Are we going to fix this? Okay, the awkwardness of this calendar, and they're aware that there's a problem. But what they'll do to fix it. But yes, this is no longer the culmination of your season. You're dropping the confetti from the ceiling. You got the stage, you got the trophy, and all that. But you're going back to practice as soon as you get back to campus.
24-hour rule. I mean, okay, as important as this one is, guess what? The next one's more important.
Yes,
for everybody.
Right.
So that's, just kind of. I understand, the Sugar Bowl and wants to get, they get their piece of the pie. Okay. But
and they got a sponsor that they have to recognize that finances this whole thing.
You could recognize it without the post game celebration.
Yeah, but they like that. you could, but they like that. That's a visibility thing. It's an ego thing.
There's a lot of things we like that aren't happening in college athletics anymore.
Quite a bit. Quite a lot. Yeah.
I think it's too much.
How hard do you think it is for the coaches to get the players to refocus?
Ole Miss, modern day football, and I'm sorry, but this is not the best team they ever had. It might not be the best team in 2 seasons that they had. It's the best quarterback, best player.
Yeah,
no doubt about that. But the biggest win in modern football history, their history, 50s and 60s, they were better. They weren't an underdog story. They were the team to beat, back then. But it's just it's a little bit of a pause because I think Ole Miss is better than people. I don't think they're quite the underdog that people are making them out to be. I think early in the season, all right, this is not the roster they had last year, but they didn't know they had. Kiffin didn't know he had what he had in Chambliss.
Chambliss changed everything.
I mean, he's brought this thing to another level. And even when, in Dellinger's piece, one of the subtitles was more than a runner. And they quoted one of the players. They said, we see this guy. And we said, he's just a little runner. Well, guess what? Kiffin thought that too. Because look at how many rushing attempts in the first half of his starts. And look how many rushing attempts in the last half. They've been cut in half.
Yeah.
So we always talk about he's going to run his quarterback about 10 times a game when it's all said and done, right? Okay,
yes,
whoever it is, all right? He's about 14, 15 rushes in the first half, and he's cut that about 7 in the second. So they trust his arm way more than they did. Throw out the Citadel. I'm not counting
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's a bogus. That only skews the statistic. But you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And, what I think the key to this game tonight is I don't disagree with anything you said about Chambliss, and we know on the other side that Carson Beck hasn't been asked to do as much. The key to this game tonight is going to be who can run the football better. And because if Kejuan Lacey,
that's Miami.
Ole Miss has been on schedule with Kejuan Lacey. They haven't put. Forget about the Tulane game. I get it, but against Georgia, they were able to stay out of those third down and longs. If they can stay out of those third down and obvious passing situations, it negates Miami's pass rush just a little bit. And for Miami, Mark Fletcher had two of his best games of the season in the playoffs. They needed him at Texas A&M because throwing the football in that win was treacherous, and then he had to hammer away at what's an outstanding Ohio State defensive front, and he ended up going for 90 yards on the ground, another 25 yards. I'm going to make this prediction. Whichever one of those two guys, whichever team, the lead back, whichever guy has the better game, that's who will win tonight.
Well, I mean, Miami's rush defense is way better than Ole Miss's.
And that's why I like Miami.
Ole Miss can run the ball. Ole Miss can be balanced. That's the other thing. Okay, but I will debate you a little bit as far as asking Beck not to beat you. In the early stages of the game against Ohio State on New Year's Eve, Charlie, they finished the game 5 of 10 on third down against Ohio State. That's way above the average that they've given up this year. I mean, the defensive statistics for Ohio State are ridiculous. They're probably number 1 in the country, third down defense. 5 out of 10 is pretty good. And of those 5 early, I distinctly remember third down completion to Daniels to keep the drive going. This was no score.
Mm-hmm.
Third down completion to Daniels, a scramble with your legs on third down, to move the chains, and another one on third down a little bit later in the second quarter. He was asked to do things on third down before they built the lead. When they built the lead, he was asked not to beat them. So I think that they asked him. Now, they don't trust him as much as Chambliss, but he doesn't have to do as much as Chambliss does. So I'm not – the wind was severe in College Station.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the kicks. I mean,
the kicks were going sideways.
Like the first kick that started here and went so far.
Yeah, it took a hard right.
I mean, it was, and they showed the flags. I mean, it was so extreme, and we talk about that all the time. And any long-term knowledgeable football person would tell you this. It's not so much the rain, it's not so much the snow, but that damn wind, it's going to affect the throwing game more than anything. So Beck still has a lot of interceptions over the course, but he's a pro talent. He's got pro size, he's got pro arm. He can make the throws, and he made. That's a good Ohio State defense that he had a key third down scramble for, so he can occasionally use his legs as well. The thing about Chambliss is to do it. Who cares about Tulane and even some of the games that play, but the 2 games against Georgia, when he went to Athens in the first 5 drives, I'm like, oh, that's taking it to another level. And then against Georgia again, when we say they're improved after having the bad break and giving up the scoop and score and falling behind at half, where, bro, we got to ride your back now. Yeah. And he did it. And so that's why I'm saying there's nobody playing better than him right now. And forget the Cinderella story. He's the best college quarterback. Not the best pro prospect. He's the best college quarterback and the college player. Period, right now, at the all-important position. And I think there was a key term, and I've heard this term by Cristobal in the media day yesterday and some others. He's limitless. What can he do? Okay, well, he can't dunk a basketball maybe because he's not tall enough.
Right.
But can he throw it in the pocket? Can he throw it on rhythm? Can he design run? Can he when the play's not there? Can he extend the play?
Yeah,
and a platform. I mean, he's take whatever you want out of who's one of the best college pocket passers. He's close. He understands putting the touch on the ball, accuracy. We talked about Williams right now, and that's the one thing, if you want to compare him, that he does better than Williams. He doesn't throw all fastballs, and he understands touch and accuracy. And the other thing, Charlie, part of accuracy is what he's done better. And Dart, I think, is going to be a good pro. if he keeps out the blue tent. I'm amazed how the offense just opens up when he's in the game, and it just it's a breath of it's just life, even losing guys like Scatterboo and Neighbors, but he's so much better at protecting the ball. We had Norsworthy on, and he has the same. He's half the interceptions he had this year than Dart did in his third year of quarterbacking in the same system. And that's part of it, too. So what protects the ball? So he manages the game. He makes plays with his arm, makes plays. When there's nothing there, he creates plays. He's unbelievable.
Miami defense, highest turnover rate in the playoff games, highest interception rate, highest sack rate, highest pressure rate, most tackles for loss per game. So I don't disagree with anything you said about Chambliss. By the way, he's been fantastic. I can't.
It's a fun matchup.
So
Miami's really good on defense.
And so what I go back to is how much pressure can they put on Chambliss? And I think that goes back to a lot of the first down runs and even second down runs. And Keywan Lacey, who is banged up. Okay, the reporter touched his shoulder in the post. He's like, "Please don't." I mean, he toughed it out. Yeah.
Oh, I was sleeping by that time. Okay.
Yeah, he was.
All right.
He's playing at a high level, but he's been hit a pretty good bit.
Yeah, no, that's a factor.
So how much of the down and distance can you put advantageous to them against this Miami defense? That's what I'm curious about. And then on the other side, Ohio really didn't run the football all that well against Miami. They got it going in the second half a little bit, but you take the sack yardage out, and they were about 90 yards, okay, so a little bit. That's a pretty good Ohio State offensive line. That's a pretty good offensive unit, and they were able to negate the run to the point where it hurt them and put all of that pressure on Sayin. I don't know that they can do that against Ole Miss, but we're going to see.
Charlie, it's an overused term in football, dominate. People throw it around like, okay, well, they're getting the better of them, but they close to did it when the game was decided in the first half. Talking about Miami against Ohio State at the line of scrimmage. I mean, they were moving the ball. Even the first drive that it didn't result in any points, they moved the ball effectively. And then, of course, you had the pick six. But the only thing was, like, gosh, they're beating them so bad, but the scoreboard isn't that bad when it was 7-0. Yeah. And so, but that's when the game was decided. He piled up that box score could be misleading a little bit. He piled up a lot of yardage in the second half.
And he got sacked 5 times.
And yes, and then when so you could say the first half decided because that created the hole. It was too big for Ohio State to dig out of. But the two drives to end the game, when Ohio State finally had the ball in a one-possession game, they got sacked. They got sacked and pressured a couple of times. They went backwards, and then Miami got and just ran it down their throat to end the game. And Ohio State let them score in that last play, but they couldn't get the ball back. I mean, that little those two back-to-back drives offensively, and Ohio State's possession and Miami's possession closed the door. It finished it, but there was a big chunk from halftime to middle of the fourth where Ohio State piled up some yardage.
I do wonder how the game might have played out differently if Ohio State had not thrown the pick six and had gotten points on that drive, even a field goal.
Like 7-3.
If it's 7-3, the rest of this plays out quite differently. But, hey, give Miami credit. They made the play. Let's see if they can make it tonight. Looking forward to it.
And that's one thing that Ole Miss is – the Kiffin, when we think about explosive offenses and we think about – and look, the numbers speak for themselves. Who's been better over the last 5 years in college football than Kiffin's offenses? Okay, they look good, all right? So they're way up there. But one of the things people do, this wide-open pass, they're always going to run the ball. They're always going to be balanced. So, yeah, they're going to run the ball. The Ole Miss, with that offensive system, no matter who's been in the players – Kiffin's been the constant. He's the creator of the offense, and they've been so productive. But now you got this generational college quarterback that lifts them to another level against this great defense. So it's fun, man. And look, we try and handicap. We try and say this is what this team's no good. This player's really good. This is all this type of stuff. One thing still comes, Charlie. We don't know what kind of game what kind of night they're gonna have. Either one of them, and that's a fun part too. Whoever executes, whoever makes the plays at different times, like Miami, we didn't. Who knew they were going to have that pick six? Well, their speed and their pressure created it. But still, who plays better tonight? But I don't buy this Ole Miss sort of underdog Cinderella story anymore. They're a good football team, and they got the best player on the team.
They're a 3.5-point underdog. That's nothing big. 6:30 is your kickoff in the desert tonight. We're here at the Original Walk-Ons.
Original Walk-Ons. It's not too early to start reserving those spring dates. Of course, my baseball season is just around the corner, and kind of baseball starts early. It's kind of crawfish season, too. You could do them on-site, off-site, so you can do them in the private room, do it in the patio, enjoy the spring weather. But our calendar does fill up for our crawfish boils. So they got it down, man. They do a great job. I mean, they provide everything, the servers, the boilers, the trays. You got it. Call Dustin over here at the Original Walk-Ons to reserve your spot because our calendar will fill up. Springtime just around the corner. That means crawfish season over here at Walk-Ons.
We got news from the portal with LSU. We'll get to that when we come back here at the Original Walk-Ons live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place.
And a return here at the original Walk-Ons, Burbank and Nicholson. Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Brand new Handycast up last night with the first 10, film on the first 10 commitments into the portal for Lane Kiffin. That's up on YouTube right now. It's all brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Go to supremerice.com. So here's what's happened this morning. LSU has picked up 3 more players. Kicker Scott Starzik, who just finished his freshman year at Arkansas. Starzik was perfect on all of his kicks inside of 40 yards. He made all 47 of his extra points, made all 9 of his field goals inside of 40 yards. From 40 to 49, he was 3 out of 6. 50-plus, he was 2 out of 3 with a long of 53 yards. So Starzik was a pretty consistent guy for Arkansas, and inside of 40. He was absolutely perfect. They also got defensive tackle Malik Blockton from Auburn. Blockton, 2 seasons at Auburn last year, 18 tackles, half a sack, 1 fumble recovery. He was a rotation piece mostly for Auburn, 6'3", 300 pounds. Another defensive line with a little bit of versatility for LSU. And then edge rusher Jalen Brown from South Carolina. He didn't play last season. He was out the whole year. He had transferred from Missouri, but of course he comes over with the defensive line coach, and so they're looking for he's a 4-star rusher out of Alabama. He went to Missouri in 2024, played 39 snaps, 6'5", 265 pounds, and he is added into the group for LSU. Sterling Lucas, the new defensive line coach, coached him over at South Carolina, so that brings him up to 14. So 2 things I'm sure you're wondering. Number 1, where are the offensive linemen? Hadn't seen them. I will say what I said on the podcast last night, and will continue to say until this class is done. I think Lane Kiffin knows what he's doing. I think he's got some specific targets. I think he knows where his money is going to be allocated. And because this didn't happen in the first week, doesn't mean that it's not going to. Maybe even some teams that are currently still playing, Jimmy, might be some targets on some of those teams. Can't imagine where that would go. If you're going to be vilified, go ahead and go all in on that. So I understand there's no offensive lineman. I understand there's a great need for offensive linemen. I'm going to trust Kiffin at this point that he knows what he's doing, and this is timeline-related more. The other question, of course, is Damon Williams, the quarterback from Washington. This story has taken off nationally. And, look, I understand this is one of those how the sausage is made type of things. I'm not wild about how things happen in college football now, but this is what it is. He signed a deal with Washington, a revenue share deal with Washington on Friday, and then wants to put himself in the transfer portal. Washington right now is, I'm going to use the word refusing to put him in the transfer portal. I don't even know how that works with this deal. This is what I do know. I know Washington is going to fight this tooth and nail, and I also know that Washington is bringing in other quarterbacks to visit. So I think they're steamed. I'd be steamed too. Signed contract should mean something. I agree, but it doesn't. We went through this last year with Xavier Lucas. Xavier Lucas was a defensive back that had signed with signed with Wisconsin. Then he ended up at Miami. He was still under that contract. The Big Ten sued Miami. That lawsuit is still pending. Guess where Xavier Lucas is tonight, Jimmy?
Glendale?
Glendale, Arizona, playing defensive back for the Miami Hurricanes. So, yeah, there's probably going to be a lawsuit out of this. It's probably going to be ugly. LSU is going to wear the black hat again because I'll write the headline for you. Quarterback signs with Washington, LSU tampers, and signs in, and he ends up if that's how it ends up.
You think that's going to end? How it's going to end up?
If I had to bet right now, I would say yes.
Me too.
But not 2 days ago, I would have told you that Sam Levitt was the leader in the clubhouse,
Right.
and that has changed. So
Court's out with the coach.
yeah.
You know?
So do I think right now that's how it's trending? Yes. It's also worth noting that while he's not in the transfer portal, technically he is not allowed to be on another school's campus on a visit. Somebody asked me where, I think it was you, asked me where DeMond Williams was right now. I don't have the first good idea where he is. For all I know, he's driving back to Washington and he stopped at a Sonic somewhere in the middle of Kansas. I don't know. But that's what's going on with the transfer portal right now. LSU up at 14 commitments in the tracker. By the way, just so you know, we like Matt Campbell a lot, right? Good guy, good coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much maxed out at a program, you know, with inferior resources. I respect those. We respect those kind of jobs.
Went to Penn State. Penn State had a tough time in recruiting, right? They
signed 2.
Yeah. You know how many they've signed in the transfer portal from Iowa State? From Iowa State.
Probably 15.
19.
How many did Signetti bring from James Madison?
Oh,
to Indiana? About that much.
It was in the
about
teens.
that much.
Yeah. So I hadn't heard as much about Matt Campbell. No,
Charlie,
he didn't leave. He didn't
you
leave.
can't hire Kiffin and be sensitive. You know that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, this has desensitized me. You know,
I know that.
That's why at the beginning I'm
that.
like, you know what? I'm not wild about this. I'm not wild to get a guy sign a contract and 4 days later jump in ship. Do I like that? No, I don't.
And guess what?
But that's what it.
And guess what? There is behind the scenes, reportedly, there are some serious discussions and planning to change his calendar.
Yeah.
And is anybody? Well, that should give him a little bit of a pass on sort of this awkward move. And I think it's funny, no, it's okay to go from an FCS, not an FCS, I mean a group of 5, a G5 job to a Power 5. That's okay during the playoffs.
Right.
But not Power 5 to Power 4 to Power 4. No, he can't. I mean, it's so.
And not in the same conference.
But I will say
sure.
this. Kiffin knew he had a better roster last year than he did, but he didn't even anticipate this type of run. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but even Virgin, you getting a little edgy with your coaches that could be doing some work here, compiling the roster right now, in Phoenix. Imagine if Kiffin was in. How could he possibly get as much done as he is now in Baton Rouge if he's coaching in a semifinal tonight?
He could.
He can't.
He could.
It's just impossible. And nobody. And I didn't say. I tell you one time, man. Those silly shows, okay, the pairing shows, but the committee shows. That was a big deal for Ole Miss to go up a notch. Why? Because they get Tulane instead of an Alabama.
Yeah, it was a big
or
deal.
or instead of a Miami, a Notre Dame. I mean, they get Tulane. And you basically get a pass to the quarters. Now, then once they get there, but nobody anticipated this run.
They didn't, and
it's only one game.
That's the one thing I agree with. Jimbo Fisher, who we both know and both like, okay, Lane Kiffin's selfish. No, if he was really selfish, he would have just took all the coaches and said, "You can't go back at all."
The piling on is not stopping, and Kiffin didn't do himself to. The way he handled just the handling the social media stuff and so, but no, we could be redundant and do shows on the Lane Kiffin. Dude, it is what it is. Just get it done. Hey, just win football games.
Tired of fighting City Hall.
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Top quality windows, doors, siding, and shutters, and exceptional customer service. So the different windows that we have vinyl windows, storm impact windows, wood windows, and the wood windows is one that I can firsthand tell you about my experience. The original construction of my home, just be able to put in the wood windows. Well, 8-10 years later, they're rotted. I mean, they got to be replaced. And, well, if you bring in the RLS, the gel wind wood frame windows that come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rotten termites, they're going to last. They also look good. They're also functional. Love when you got one of those great spring days or fall days in my media room where I can just roll out those windows, man, get some open air. Nothing better than that, man. So they're really good customer service. Come out, we'll come out with the computer and analyze exactly what we're looking at, do a computer rendering and modify it and say, this is what we can do. And, man, it's just really first-class operation. More than pleased with the windows and the whole process of getting them installed over from Relief Windows. To Relief Windows, 288-8138 and ReliefWindows.com.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit Ruffino'sRestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for...
Hey, did Colucci change his number? Anybody there?
Yeah, which guy?
I'm calling Colucci, and it's not even ringing. It's
Colucci's not ringing.
At all.
He says it's not even ringing at all.
Dak, it's saying, like... please leave your name and number, and we'll call.
It's going straight to voicemail. Okay,
yeah.
Keep trying and let him know when we get it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders. Dual purpose, part office, part storage. Climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886. 343-4886 and WorkboxLLC.com.
There's more than one way to listen to ESPN Baton Rouge on the radio at 104.5 and 104.9 and 98.1 HD2 online.
Okay, I finally got him.
He got him. Okay, thank
with
you.
the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford.
Outdoors with Don Dubuque. Saturday mornings at 5 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Ho, 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 Colucci Claus. Huh? How was Christmas, buddy?
Yeah, it was pretty good for everybody in Baton Rouge. Too bad you guys didn't have me on the last week. We would have crushed a little more, but Christmas was great here in Vegas. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I work every day, Jimmy.
Oh.
Every day. You guys got to enjoy days off. I was here Christmas Day, New Year's Day. It was just hectic and, a lot going on here at the Rampart Resort at Summerlin. So, just riding with the flow, hoping to get some NHL winners. Great handle tonight on the college. We got playoffs coming up, NFL. So this is a busy time here at the Rampart Casino.
Well, so and Charlie and I took 3 weeks off. This is our first day back since we last talked to you. But anyway,
went to the Caribbean for Christmas.
Rub it in. Rub it in. The Baton Rouge Caribbean.
He's lying.
Well, give me a highlight in the sports book. Was it one crazy moment, one crazy cover, or I don't know, or an 80-1 shot that hit at Santa Anita? I don't know. What was one of the highlights of this little 3-week stretch since we talked to you at the Rampart?
Tell you the opening day there at Santa Anita that they pushed back. I think it was to a Sunday or whatever.
Right.
We had some great handle, and there was some crushing pick 5 that day here. My page cashed out, which is great to see. But how many times you see like what Matt LaFleur did over the past weekend? That was kind of a little shady, wasn't it? Kicking a field goal with 1 second left. Then you had the Houston Texans running in, keeping all their teasers alive.
Yes.
Interception at the end of the game. I mean, there were a plethora of bad beats. The Raven game, that was amazing how the kid missed a field goal with all the Justin Tucker happenings in the offseason. There were so many different reactions in the racing sportsbook. And, there were some really good games and some good football games, but there's some games make you scratch your head and wonder. The horse racing, it happens. You see those bombs winning quite often, whether it's at Turfway Park, your neck of the woods fairgrounds, especially opening day at Santa Anita, because you can't get a read on the track because they hadn't run so long. But when the NFL is playing games, I don't know. It's just, a head scratch.
Yeah, so the Houston, the Texans game, and, this week 18 is tricky, the last week in the regular season. Who's playing, who's not, who's trying, who's not. Detroit, their season's over. But, man, this is the second time they've gone to a division opponent's place and beat them. We remember that Green Bay game that knocked them out the playoffs, and here we go with Chicago as well. But you saw the pitchy woo-woo with Houston to, they keep a lot of the teasers alive. You thought that was done there against Riley Leonard, who lit up Houston. I mean, he played great on Sunday. And then you mentioned, I'm glad you mentioned that Green Bay. So I got Minnesota and Minnesota teaser because Green Bay they're resting everybody. They're playing a third-string quarterback, okay? But as they start to drive, and they get the ball with like 7-8 minutes, and they're just running the ball. They're just trying. It's like a preseason approach. They're getting out of there. But I'm still worried about them popping a touchdown to backdoor, so I took plus 15.5, plus 550. Never thinking LaFleur's going to call a timeout to kick a field goal with a second to go. So, a little something extra in the tree at the Odd House. And let me tell you,
it just shows you what type of a coach he is. And, that's why my perception is that team will never go anywhere with him as a head coach. It's kind of like insulting that he has his mind on resting plays, but still trying not to get shut out going into a huge playoff game the next week. And it's just the focus that, this man has at times. It's baffling. It's mind-boggling in that who would do that? Who isn't throwing that ball into the end zone? And then, don't tell me they don't know what the point spread is. I mean, the game is all over 12 and a half, 13 and a half. It's all over the place, and it's all over the locker rooms, guys. At this point and stage of the game where every television timeout, you have 2, maybe 3 gambling websites or companies trying to vie for your attention and for your money, these guys know what's going on. And, it brings a shady light.
Well, Coach, right there in your neck of the woods, didn't Pete Carroll do? It wasn't to avoid a shutout, but
kick the field goal.
Kick the field goal. I mean, and that's
right
in the heart of Vegas.
On vacation.
Yeah,
and that's right. That's another thing where what are they doing? I mean, what are you thinking? And like you said, definitely, Charlie, great point. That was another one that happened while we were on the vacation break.
All right, Kaluch, let's get 12 games on the ice tonight. Who are we looking at? Let's get back to our winning ways. We have a really nice start to the hockey season this year.
Yeah, definitely, and we're going to ride it out with the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. I mean, the New Jersey Devils are just baffling at this point. They're getting crushed each and every night. It doesn't seem like they have their heart in the game, which is somewhat shocking. The Hughes brothers are not working in cohesion tonight. You're going to get Skinner between the pipes for Edmonton at home. Price is right, -110. I wish we were on the other night, guys. I was all over the Islanders against the Devils, and they scored 9 goals against them. I mean, that's unheard of, Jimmy. I mean, it's just incredible how the Devils' fortunes have turned around so quickly. And it's just, they actually didn't play too bad while Jack Hughes was hurt. But, they played a great game here in the Fortress. But we also have to keep in mind how bad the Vegas Golden Knights are as well right now. I mean, they got incredibly lucky the other day to win a game. So I am not buying too much into the Devils' victory over the Knights as the Knights flounder as well. So tonight we're going to take Pittsburgh at home, a -110 right now at the resort at Summerlin and the South Point. So
might want to get on it soon because it's -118 at a DraftKings outlet over here at the Queen and Bally's. Okay, who's next?
Yeah, it's starting to skyrocket, I'll be honest with you guys. Okay, so last week the Florida Panthers played the Montreal Canadiens, and Montreal got them. This Montreal Canadian team matches up so well against the Florida Panthers, it's uncanny. If you use a sample size of the last 7 games, Montreal is 6-1, I believe, against Florida. So really hammering out the Panthers, and I think tonight is a good spot. You'll probably see Samuel Montembeault between the pipes, even though Montreal played last night. It was not a hard game, guys. They crushed Calgary. This young team has a lot of energy, and you're getting a plus at the Bell Center for Montreal. So, I like the Canadians. I'm seeing a lot of 125s out there on the Panthers. We're only at 115 on the Panthers. So I would shop around to get that plus 105 on the Montreal Canadiens at home tonight. Looking at the Canadiens to definitely keep their winning ways going. I mean, this team is playing very, very well.
Yeah, they blasted them pretty good in that
now,
Winter Classic down in Miami. So, yeah, we saw that one too.
Also, let's go against the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. Let's go with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Vegas is in no position to be laying these 40 numbers. 155 here at the Rampart in South Point. I'm seeing 160s out there as well. Columbus is definitely a team that could roughhouse and play a physical type game that could keep the Golden Knights on edge. Now, we'll probably see Carter Hart between the pipes tonight. It's a 7 o'clock West Coast start. So let's take Columbus at a nice plus, a sizable plus 135, maybe even 140 out there.
All right, Pittsburgh, Montreal, and Columbus. All right, forget Carolina, the Rams, Green Bay, Chicago. The Sunday, Monday games, what's your favorite NFL pick for this weekend's wild card action?
I'll be honest, I'm going to shock a lot of people, but I think the Eagles are a shoo-in. I think they're going to just destroy this 49er team. I don't think they're healthy, even if they do get some of these offensive linemen and their wide receiver back. I think the Eagles going to be riding high. Even though they've had some peaks and valleys this year, Sirianni knows how to get this team into good playoff shape. It's going to be in Philadelphia. I'm looking at now 4.5 at Barton South Point. Get it down before it gets to 5 because I'm seeing most shops go to 5. I think that's definitely a good rounded pick for the Eagles to advance to the second round. I'm going to go against the grain on this one, too. I'm kind of perplexed. 3.5, the New England Patriots. I think Drake May will have enough to get past Justin Herbert and that wrist and the cold weather. It's going to be tough for the Chargers to play ball control there against New England with that high-powered offense. So it's supposed to be in the 30s, maybe even in the 20s. Let's keep an eye on that weather. It's a 5:15 Pacific game. So picture how cold it's going to be in New England for the Chargers, who is another team that, is somewhat banged up on that offensive line. I thought this number would have already exceeded 4.5, 5 points. But, the public is still backing the Los Angeles Chargers. Herbert had a solid season despite all those injuries, but nothing like Drake May. 72.3% completions, over 4,300 passing yards. This kid is unbelievable, and they need to win this first round, even though I know the Chargers have a better head coach. This is a measuring stick for the Patriots. They better win this first game.
Yeah, Charlie, did Sirianni screw up? Because if he plays his starters, they're going to beat Washington. It costs them the 2 seed. Is that the one thing he said, I know no matter what Chicago does, we'll rest our players.
They knew going in, so this didn't catch him by surprise. I got a hard time disseminating between the 49er team I saw 3 weeks ago that went 3 weeks and punted one time, and the 49er team that I saw last week, which couldn't get out of their own way. Trent Williams is going straight to the Hall of Fame. That's one offensive lineman. Tell me what the difference is between San Francisco 3 weeks ago and San Francisco now, because it certainly seems to be pretty dramatic on offense.
But do you talking about resting his starters?
No, I get, but it's based on.
I'm saying, was it a mistake? Do you think it?
I would have played him.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have played him.
Okay. All right. What about the semifinals tonight and tomorrow night? College football in Phoenix, in Atlanta. What's the activity? Any activity of note since they opened these lines a week ago?
Hello?
Kaluch,
dropped out there, Jimmy. I'm sorry. What's the question?
I'm sorry. Any activity since you guys opened up these lines for the semifinals in college for tonight and tomorrow night? We got Miami and Ole Miss, and again Indiana and Oregon.
Yeah, Miami. We're at the opening line of 3. We came back down -3 against Ole Miss. It seems like still at first the Sharps jumped all over Miami. That great defense back. Still people are playing the different card, but I don't see it. I mean, this team is playing lights out right now. Unbelievable how Kirby Smart just out-coached and out-maneuvered. I think this is a very, very tough game on paper. Indiana, Oregon, it's another rematch where Indiana pretty much put a whooping on them in the second half. They had 30-20 earlier in the season, I believe the final was. We opened that game at 4. Oregon is playing much better, down to 3.5 at the Rampart and South Point. Seeing some great two-way money on both of these games, guys. I definitely think Oregon has a puncher's chance and could beat Indiana, but Indiana's looked so impressive. I mean, it's just unbelievable how good they look. And, Oregon comes in, off a somewhat an easy victory. We'll see if they can put the pedal to the metal. That's a great game as well.
Follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookieDwayne. And, of course, you're in Vegas here. So go by the Rampart and check him out, and he'll take care of you over there. Glad to have you back, man. We're looking forward to it. Thank you, brother. Great stuff as always.
I love you guys. Always say hi to everybody in Baton Rouge. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Charlie.
Colucci Claus, he gives. He comes with gifts every Thursday on the show. So 3 NHL picks there. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds of Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team at Legacy Title. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Natalie and Bradford Smith, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, and, of course, our fearless leader, Chad Reynolds. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Couple of updates to give you. One is with Damon Williams. You know, Damon Wilson was Lamont on Sanford and Sonny. Damon Williams.
Damon Wilson was Lamont?
That was the actor's name.
Yeah.
Damon Wilson. I gotta make sure not to call Damon Williams. Okay.
That's
pretty good. That's good. Damon Williams is rep. This is Doug Hendrickson from Wasserman Football. It says, I have made the decision to end my representation of Damon Williams Jr. effective immediately due to, wait for it, Philosophical differences. Damon is an incredible talent. We wish him and his family the best in their future endeavors.
We got philosophical differences.
Do with that what you will.
We got philosophical differences, you old dummy.
Hey, by the way, guess who else Doug Hendrickson reps?
Where's he based out of?
He works for an outfit called Wasserman Football. San Francisco, California is what their address is on the thing. So, but he also represents Jed Fish, the head coach.
Yes, Wasserman Sports Agents. Yes.
Philosophical differences. Okay.
He is an NFL agent also, though.
Yeah.
So,
He reps. He reps.
You rep it. He reps. Cam Jordan.
Okay.
Max Crosby.
Didn't we do this last year where Brian Kelly and Garrett Nussmeier were both repped by Trace Armstrong?
Yes.
Yes. You want to talk about? Yes, there could be philosophical differences.
30.
The player and the coach could want different things. I have no problem believing that. So, just another little twist.
I think he's also Kendry Miller's agent.
Okay. Now he ain't Damon Williams' agent anymore.
No,
apparently.
but he's got other guys.
He's not a fly-by-night guy for sure. All right, hour number 2 straight ahead here at the original Walk-Ons, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started at Government Street, then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony has taken it to another level at the current location in South Dallas. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Down Shopping Center.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away go troubles down the drain.
Roto-Rooter.
The timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory service provided by New Age Advisors LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
The Louisiana Land Bank has always been known for financing rural real estate. We also finance equipment, from the four-wheeler you need for the camp to the biggest, baddest combine you need to harvest your crop. At the Louisiana Land Bank, we finance all things country. Call us.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Hour number 2 here from the original Walk-Ons. Come by and see us for lunch. School about to be back in.
Yeah, Monday.
Here.
Monday, get them going. And that's, I was talking to Nando over here, long-time manager in the food and beverage industry. And, he's saying, we got to shake our rust off. So I was talking to some of the servers before that have been here for years now, and they were saying the same type of thing, like I'm ready to get back and get back in a routine, Charlie. So whatever it is, so basketball games, if you come over here before, it's a great meeting place. Of course, gymnastics are huge. I mean, and Mr. J and his team, they got a great team again this year, so that's a big rush over here as well. But also never too early. Call my buddy Dustin Lovelace over here at the original Walk-Ons and reserve your spot for that crawfish boil. They do a great job. You just show up, man, and that's they do a lot of them. But if you don't reserve your spot, what's better than maybe before an LSU game or after an LSU baseball game, you got a little crawfish boil on the patio over here at Walk-Ons.
See what the gymnastics team drew for the exhibition the other night? I didn't get a number, but
I saw the former team from my girl Catherine Wildbacker. Yeah. So she's a returning senior.
The entire lower bowl was full, and like some of this is for an exhibition now.
Oh, this was the lower bowl was filled.
Yeah, this was against themselves. They didn't even have an opponent. I don't think it was just them. Basically, an exhibition.
Yeah, I think.
They filled the whole.
I think I've got to go. Who is the media relations person for LSU for gymnastics?
Gosh, you know what? I don't know.
I know Rabs will know.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be getting a call because I think that's my only access. I asked for a ticket and they put me on a waiting list.
Right.
My friend.
Yeah.
So, I got to put him on a waiting list for picks.
That's it. So. That's it. You speaking of picks, Miami is now 3. This is going to 3 just about everywhere. This was 3.5 when the sun came up this morning on tonight's game. Now Miami just a 3-point favorite. That's a key number.
Obviously, one outlet FanDuel still has 3.5, but if you take the 3.5, you got to lay like minus 122 juice. So heavy juice is the only thing left. And that's been like in the last 24 hours, Charlie, because I was seeing a lot of 3.5s. I know Colucci's at the Rampart. They've been at 3 the whole time, pretty much. But let me look at my
because I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit surprised. Not a huge. I thought this would be inside of a field goal when it opened. I really did, and I would not have fallen on the floor shocked if Ole Miss had opened as a 1-point favorite in this thing.
First of all, Ole Miss is a higher seed.
Yes.
Do they deserve the higher seed? Sure, they did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Miami had a couple of trip ups. Ole Miss's only blemish on their record was in Athens, where they're leading by 2 scores in the fourth.
Yeah,
more than close.
I had no problem with Ole Miss's seed.
Now did they did they play the toughest teams in the, they didn't play Texas A&M. They didn't play Alabama. They didn't play, they did beat Oklahoma. They went to Oklahoma, playoff team, and beat them. And I think that's Kiffin's only win against a ranked team on the road.
The whole time?
I think it's his only road ranked win, Charlie.
Well, okay. Well.
Yeah. So it was a first of something when they went and beat. I remember distinctly, and I think that's what it is only win on the road against a ranked opponent. So what was LSU last year when they should have beaten LSU last year here?
They were 13.
LSU was 13?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, it's just kind of people are waiting for, the Kiffin effect or the unraveling. It just seems like one thing about it, there's been distractions. Okay, this is not the design, the blueprint as far as preparing your team for the playoff. So I think a lot of that publicity, everybody, massive bet. Everybody bet Georgia against Ole Miss in the last round.
Hand raised.
What's that?
Hand raised.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I had the right side on that one, but and it wasn't a fluke. They outgained about 130 yards. What's more impressive, to beat Georgia or to beat Ohio State? To beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State was pretty much everybody's power rating, any handicapper, the number one team entering the playoffs. It's certainly more impressive to go to College Station and win than it is to beat Tulane at home. So in the playoffs, they've had a little bit a more impressive path. And the funny thing the people, the one theme that's coming from the media day out there, it's not the Golding, he's comfortable, or he takes it, they're handling it. It's like, damn, Miami's got a little touch of arrogance. It's like restoring order, this sort of thing. No, the U is back kind of thing. Well, the transfer portal U is back, and we talked about them, the money that they were throwing around with Cam Ward. Okay, so they're in. They got some money floating around with some of the guys down in the Coral Gables area. And it's helped them, but it was almost like, whoa, man. I just watched the U again. The last one was 2001.
24 years. Now they should have won. They should have won the one the next year.
Let's say 2002. Let's say back to back since that's that stretch. But they haven't been anything, Charlie. No, of national. Nothing.
I read the stat this morning. Over that time, from
2002,
they've only had 4 losing seasons. So they have had winning seasons, but they have not had championship seasons.
Oh, well, you
so
saw
they didn't drop off the
tail of the tape with Ohio State with 10-win seasons the last 20 years. I mean, it's been since their last championship.
They didn't drop off the cliff and go 4 years without a winning season like Florida did or Auburn did.
Charlie,
but they didn't win championships
way more than Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State. Okay, LSU.
And let's be honest,
way more.
How many of those winning seasons, those 8-4 seasons, were propped up by bad schedules in the ACC? Okay, so they've been a very middle of the road,
very mediocre.
For a long time.
Not on the national. How many times have they finished ranked? Handful of times.
Yeah,
it hadn't been much, bro.
Yeah,
I can tell you. It's just like the last 20 years or so. It has not been much.
The beating that LSU gave them in the Peach Bowl, and I'm not saying that's why, but that was sort of the end of the Coker. That was the end of Coker, and Coker had coasted on Butch Jones's. Base for
that game and one other was like, okay, this is rock bottom. What the other game, huh?
When Notre Dame thumped them? I'm not
no,
going back too far.
But knock down, drag out. Okay, all right, they got into a big fist fight with Florida State. No, not Florida State, Florida International. No, you don't get in a brawl.
Who was the announcer that got fired over? Who the announcer that got fired over that?
I forget his name.
You don't come into
right. Lamar Thomas.
Lamar Thomas, I think is right. Who it was? Okay, since that LSU Miami.
And so those are 2 really low points. And I shared that with you.
Yeah.
We're one of the managers of the team in Wrigley Field, and he's with a bunch of LSU guys. Like, yes. Y'all beat us in the fight. Y'all beat us in the and when we watched the U, when they had to settle go play Florida, they talked about how They beat him at Bourbon Street, and they beat him, beat him on the in the Superdome as well. So
Since that game, 4 losing seasons, 5 final rankings.
5 ranked. There you go.
But none of them high. None of them in the top 10. Their highest ranking, final ranking since that game was one of the Mark Richt teams finished 11th.
0 top 10 finishes in the last 20 years. Restoring order. Where have you guys been? I mean, okay, that was a big win. Like these are 2 big wins, okay? And it's not flukish. And Saban has been hit and miss on it, but he hit on this one as far as predictions. And he said, if Miami gets into the playoffs, they are capable of doing some damage. And so, they're pro players, their speed, both sides of the line of scrimmage, they are.
And how close did this team get to getting left out of the playoffs? I mean, really close, right?
The odds.
A field goal in a Notre Dame game. If that score is flipped, Notre Dame gets in and Miami doesn't.
This is one of the biggest selection day surprises of memory. What was bigger?
Oh, right.
This was bigger than Ohio State jumped Baylor.
We were doing the show at Bally's. What was the odds?
10-1.
Yeah, getting them. So this comes down to the final playoff spot comes down to a field goal game on opening weekend. Notre Dame and Miami. That was the difference of them getting in and not getting in.
But they count. And
everything counts.
The process was screwed up, but don't pay attention to any of those shows till the end. And I thought that once, and why does it take? And they told us if they do get next to each other, head-to-head's going to factor in more. They told us, but they're like, what kind of reasoning is that? So if there's one team in between them, like the week before in BYU, head-to-head shouldn't mean anything? Damn, do you have enough vision that a 2-touchdown underdog may lose next week, and they are?
They started
but once
laying the groundwork.
Right, they should have been ahead of them. Yeah. I thought even before that, when they went to Pitt, because what was Notre Dame's the thing that they brought to the table, why they should get in most? They dominated a weaker schedule, and arguably their best win was at Pitt. So when Miami, who's got no players who played high school ball in that type of temperature, in a spot where Pitt would have an advantage, they went there and beat Pitt as bad, if not worse, than what Notre Dame did. At that point, that negates them being so dominant against their weaker schedule. This is arguably their best win, and Miami did it just as well, and they beat you. So put them in, and they didn't do that week. I know in hindsight, but think about it. I mean, it just that was poor to have it all. And then, okay, well, they're done playing. How can they jump? How can we fall behind now? Oh, because and look, they threw in this guy midstream because the Baylor AD got in a little trouble in Waco.
Yeah.
So the Arkansas AD. But what kind of sense does that make? So that's the thing where the committees, you never know, because there's different criteria for different groups of people. But he was transparent enough to say, if they get next to each other, which who didn't think Texas Tech was going to beat BYU in a Big 12 championship game?
Right.
So they kind of told you, but wait a minute, how often in anything of a committee you rank this way, and now their games are over, now you're going to get jumped. So I feel Notre Dame's pants a little bit. But I'm going to tell you what, you better shut your AD up, because he's opened up the eyes of how the specialized treatment you're really getting if that deal stays the same next year.
I'm going to go as far as to say, Jimmy, that if Notre Dame and Miami would have played in Miami in October or November, Notre Dame would have beaten them.
Yes. No, Notre Dame, Charlie, I was going to bet them to win the whole thing.
The difference in that first game, the advantage Miami had was that the freshman C.J. Carr had a rocky first half. He settled in the second half, but it was enough of a rocky start that Miami ended up winning the game. If they play that game 4 weeks later, or certainly 8 weeks later, I think Notre Dame wins.
Nope.
And I'm saying that as a guy who's picking Miami to win tonight and gives them a puncher's chance to win the whole doggone thing.
Notre Dame is a public team to begin with, so usually sharp action does not come on them because they're dealing with inflated lines, because people are going to bet Notre Dame no matter what. People are going to bet the Dallas Cowboys no matter what. People are going to bet the Yankees no matter what, okay? Those type of teams. People are going to bet the Lakers no matter what. So a lot of times those public teams, those traditional high-brand popular teams, you're not getting a fair shake. The sharp action for about a 6-week stretch was all over Notre Dame. Those lines moved every week because they had them power rated much higher. And they destroyed the spread for the most part. I mean, destroyed it. So for like the last month of the season, most experienced handicappers had them in their top 5 as far as power rated teams, some like 2 or 3. And I think that as well. But who does that resume sound like? Who was part of this 12-team playoff? Dominated not the toughest schedule.
Not the two.
No.
Of the 10 that dominated, not the toughest schedule. Are we still saying Indiana?
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Well,
so we don't know.
Right, and we were surprised. We thought Texas Tech would show
Okay, you're a
more.
bully.
Yeah.
Or you're a bully. You destroy, mediocre to bad teams. Destroy them and cover the spread. That's fine. But, damn it, I mean, what is your best? USC?
USC
at home?
About what and what?
That's your best win?
Those were the two.
Man, that ain't worth a crap. Indiana beat better teams than that, Charlie.
Yeah.
Because, and this might be, we can argue with this logic, but that Penn State team that played Indiana that day, that 11 a.m. kickoff at Alabama LSU day, was better than the Penn State team that played Northwestern and UCLA. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No.
They were a tougher out that game. Like Auburn was a tougher out against Georgia in Alabama than they were for a lot of times during the season.
Notre Dame will spend most of the offseason kicking themselves that the 2 winnable games the 2 games they lost were both very, very winnable games.
And they were so, and they caught, and the first one, Miami controlled the game, and then Carr led this frantic comeback. And then Beck had to drive him down to get him in field goal range. He did. The A&M game, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. I mean, A&M had over 500 yards.
And the kickoff that got called back.
Yes,
and it was working out for them clockwise.
But we can say, and I would have I put my money on Texas Tech to win it all. And they weren't close. So, man, so many times we can formulate an opinion, but until it's you don't know until you have teams that can actually have a roster that are capable of beating you. Like Auburn had a roster that was capable of beating some good teams. They just didn't do it a whole lot, but they were close. I mean, some of these teams have no chance. That Pitt, you remember that Pitt Notre Dame game? That was men and boys.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, Texas Tech BYU, I'm sorry. They can play 10 times, 10 out of 10.
They played the exact same game twice. The
Yes.
exact same
Yeah, go play.
game
You play in
twice.
Lubbock, play it in Dallas. Go play on the moon. I mean, whatever. I mean, you're not beating that team. But I'm still trying to lick my wounds and get over that beating that Oregon gave Texas Tech. I'm still trying. That one.
Wasn't as
I
close
could
as the
not.
score.
No.
Wasn't as
How
close
is
as the score.
that game 6-0 at half? Unbelievable. So, but that's but and then look when you say, well, BYU's a player now, huh? They're a player. The result in the Orange Bowl or the Hard Rock Stadium, the Orange Bowl game, Texas Tech, that makes Notre Dame's evolution of their schedule look that much worse. No matter whose side you take on them dropping the series, but in the next 10 years, who's probably going to be better between BYU and USC?
Maybe that looks better on paper because of BYU's record and all this stuff this year. At no point in the history of college football, even when they won the national championship in '84, have I considered BYU to be better than USC.
Texas Tech, one of the things I take away from the Orange Bowl is that BYU wasn't in that damn good either.
The whole Big 12, you got to say, well,
Yes.
there were a bunch of good
Yes.
teams. There was a bunch of pretty
No,
mediocre teams.
it was competitive teams. It had a lot of really good games. There was 80, not many conferences you could say over 80% of your games are competitive games.
Yeah,
they really. I mean, TCU can beat anybody.
It felt like 3/4 of the league was 8-4.
Well,
A bunch of good. Only Texas Tech looked great, and then they got to the
good is a
postseason.
stretch. Solid.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Pick a word. Yeah.
But teams that can't go in, if they can't play on the same field with Texas Tech, who can't play with Oregon, they're so far off.
Remember that.
And BYU is one of those teams.
Remember that 8-4 is really 5-4 because see, we buy you 3.
All right, Skip.
I mean, the uniforms win 3.
With the Sugar Bowl. You see, there's chicken in every pot. It's not a ticket in every pot.
You don't get a room to yourself.
Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest at Bluebonnet Burbank. I've got an account over there. United Community Bank, a great team of bankers at United Community Bank. My buddy Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry. Stop on by and see how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at the original Walk-Ons Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
The Pierrepont Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierrepont. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at ThibodeauStore.com.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store. The Pierre Part Store now open in La Rose and Lockport. These post-holiday sales at the website, thethibodeaustore.com. The first thing you're going to see when you pop it up, 60% off of these website deals right now. This includes the compact cordless drill packages, the screwdriver sets, the drill bit sets, and a ton of cleanup
I'm texting my
stuff.
son right now.
Hey, wait.
Post-Christmas sale at the Thibodeau Store.
Here's why he needs
Yes.
to pay attention. You know what they got on sale? Because spring cleaning is right.
What?
Lots of cleaning supplies. I understand that his residence in Tuscaloosa
might not
could
open
use,
them up,
could
Charlie.
use a little cleaning. Well, tons of cleaning supplies. Everything from your showers, your stain removers, to mops, to soaps, to garbage bags, glass cleaners. All of them big discounts right now at the Thibodeau Store. Lots of tarps, lots of gloves, things like that. Batteries all on sale right now at the Thibodeau Store. To go to thethibodeaustore.com. In addition to things we tell you about on a regular basis, which is baseball tailgating is coming up soon. Your crawfish pots, your jambalaya pots, your big green egg cookers for your outdoor cooking at home. All of them available at thethibodeaustore.com, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. You sending him a link to it?
I know.
You guys
Yes,
need to buy
yes.
some a whole cart worth of cleaning stuff.
Charlie,
to,
I
to go to-
delivered all those. They're collecting dust right now. So, anyway, no, I sent him a link to the Thibodeau Store.
Okay.
Take your Christmas bonus money, and good buy dad some tools to report. They've got a lot of generators too for if you want to do the tailgating stuff in the spring, stuff like that. Just a festival season, just on-site cooking, no matter what it is. So it's just they got it. It is. I don't know, Charlie. I mean, I do a lot of outdoor cooking, but even just when any homeowner, just look. There's some things you can do your own. You got to know your limits, and there's some things you can't. But if you do it at home, they got the tools for you.
And
they got the gadgets for you.
They can give you some instruction too on a lot of these home projects.
Oh,
to help you out.
it's a pre-transfer portal store.
Pre-transfer portal.
Yes.
It's still okay.
All the good
I
things.
got
It's
that.
the purity of an
purity,
independently
yes.
open store that gives you personal service. That tells you, no kidding, how you doing when you walk in the door. The nice cashier.
Working
hey,
for you.
how you doing? Good. I mean, it is a little dial back in time. So going to the Thibodeau Store, Pierre Part Store, Lockport, La Rose stores.
Online, thethibodeaustore.com.
I think I'm due for another field trip.
Yeah.
Maybe after spring cleaning in the yard.
Spring field trip. Spring
Yeah,
field
maybe pre-spring training, get some of the tools, huh?
Get a big care package for EJ. Lots of, some cleaning
Collect
stuff.
dust, bro.
Garbage bags.
It's like Sewer Rat's trailer, collecting dust.
Oh, man. Before we get to Matt Humans and we finish with the football for today, I got to ask you about last night's card in the SEC because there were some things
Great games.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you three. You pick the one you think was the most compelling. Vandy gets their 15th consecutive win to open the season. Great ball game in Nashville. Hold on against Alabama, 96-90. Ole Miss and Kentucky both go to 0-2 to open the season, and for Kentucky, that's a loss at Rupp. I think the last time they lost to Missouri at Rupp, or they opened up 0-2 at Rupp. Let's just say that the honeymoon's passed over with Mark Pope in Lexington. So pick the one. And we thought more for Chris Beard at this point in the program's progression at Ole Miss, but they are 8-7 and 0-2. They lost to Arkansas last night at home. So you tell me, which one was the most compelling?
Well, from a point spread value, no doubt, because two of the Arkansas was favored on the road in Oxford. Both. Arkansas is better than anticipated. He's got another one. This Acuff Jr. is legit. I mean, he's
top half of the lottery pick. Right
and
now,
he's had top
projection.
half of the lottery picks that were really good or not so good.
Yep.
But this guy is both. He's a great college player as well, and I could see them making a serious run. Okay, when it comes to tournament time. Vanderbilt traditionally has had much weaker teams give the heavyweights in the SEC all they can handle at home. This is one of the better teams. I still question if they're a Final Four serious team. I really don't think so. I think that Arkansas and Florida are capable of making more runs. They're not having a season that Vanderbilt is to this point. But Vandy at home is a good team. And LeBaron Fallon went down with body cramps, full body cramps, and could only play like 19 minutes. Oates even talked about it after. So that game was high level, high tempo, and then you take him out, your best scorer, and the thing about him, John, he's got so many moves. I mean, he throws everything at you and could score on any court. Yeah. But he's sitting in the bench the last 15 minutes. Well, so Vandy still continues. But Kentucky, Missouri, they're 12.5-point favorites. They're 12.5-point favorites. Missouri had the lead for most of the first half and led at half. Your boy from Kentucky hits a three-quarter shot. He was inside the arc, the three-point line on the other side, and hit it. The three-pointer going to the half. It gave them some surge, and they continued that, and they went from the end of the first half to early in the second half like a 12-0 run. Okay, Kentucky's ready to go off on high. Didn't happen. Missouri fights back and comes back and wins a 50-50 game at Rupp. So they start out, 0-2. So that's. Tell me if I'm wrong. Where we said, okay, what percentage of your collective that you're going to give to each sport? And most of the college basketball teams, the men's teams, were getting 15%, and Kentucky was getting 45%. Is that this season, or that's for next season?
I thought it was for this season. I could be
because
mistaken,
that roster is not 3 times better on the average than everybody in the SEC. Not close. Not close.
No. One more thing.
But that's a big one. But Arkansas is for real. And Ole Miss is not as good. I don't know what happened there.
And we were
Beard's so good.
He is. One thing about the Vandy schedule, it doesn't look great when you look at the names, but they got 5 Q1 wins now and 3
Wow.
and 3 Q2 wins. But it's like it's UCF, it's Wake Forest, it's St. Mary's. Now SMU we know is good, but it maybe doesn't have that pizzazz, that the sexy names, but it's solid.
Wake Forest on the road, and they destroyed them. But the metrics love them. Ken Palm, the NET, everybody, no, they love them. I just don't think they're a top 8 type of roster.
And they may not
I just
be,
don't.
but they're only 5 Q4 wins out of the 15.
But this guy's really good. He was good last year. They got him to the tournament, and that was ahead of schedule.
There's a lot of meat on the sandwich.
No, they're gonna get they're on their way to getting a very, very good seed because unlike a lot of teams in the SEC, they got the most impressive resume in the SEC. Not close.
5 Q1 wins
Not
first
close.
week in January. I'll take that.
I just don't think the team is quite that good.
Fair enough. We'll see.
Yeah. Go to break.
Oh, I'm sorry. Matt Humans joins us when we come back here live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. An authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummins generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, more cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Click through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Stat I was searching for was it was Missouri's first ever win at Rupp, and also the first time Kentucky's lost their SEC home opener since 2013. And DJ Lagway, former Florida quarterback, has decided to go to Baylor and join Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda, former LSU defense coordinator. Let's go out to Las Vegas. And VSiN's Matt Humans joins us after a 3-week layoff for the Christmas break. Matt, how was your Christmas and New Year's?
Actually, really good. Went to the Hawaii Bowl, and actually, it was a very entertaining bowl game. If you rank the non-playoff bowls, I think the Hawaii Bowl had to be in your top 3. I mean, there were some good ones actually.
Hawaii Bowl was very good to us. My son and I went to church, went to dinner, and we went to some parties after. And I had the whole party on Hawaii, and to come off the deck like that, I'm like, my man, Maui Matt, I was singing your praises, baby, over the eggnog on Christmas Eve.
Wait a minute. You didn't bet the over? Did you bet the over?
I did not play the over.
Oh, that was my strongest play on the game was the over.
I like more of a challenge,
Huh?
Matt. I like more of a challenge, so I just took the side.
I said the side was kind of a coin flip, but I love the over. So anyway, the over finally got there in the fourth quarter. Anyway, speaking of last night, I was on Missouri as a 12.5-point dog at Kentucky last night because I watched both those teams over the weekend and said, hey, Missouri's getting healthy. This team's improving. Kentucky's an absolute mess. No shooters. I think they got a bunch of overpaid players and are not on the same page. I don't see it getting much better for Kentucky down the stretch. I like Mark Pope a lot, but he's got a mess on his hands, and I don't think he's going to get that cleaned up this season. I don't know if he is. And by the way, DJ Lagway, I believe, is the son of a former Baylor running back. So that's where that decision came from.
Really?
A lot of people thought that came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Lagway missed so much time in the offseason, which just crushed his development, we thought. And so because, he was spotty. He's got to improve his passing and develop. But his development was severely they started August camp, and he wasn't ready to practice, this past year. So,
Right.
but he's got I can see him having a chance to be pretty good.
His dad did play at Baylor. His name was Derek. I had forgotten that. That's a good call.
Who did he play for? He played for Grant Taft? Huh?
He had to be Grant Taft.
What about the semifinals tomorrow night? What you thinking?
Well, these are interesting because I don't love these plays. I like them enough. I'm going to roll with them here. But I loved Indiana over Alabama last week. I loved that game. It was one of my biggest bets of the year. And I'm not on the Indiana bandwagon this week, so we'll talk about that game in a minute. As far as tonight, I like Ole Miss a little bit. I took 3.5, but like I said, I don't love it. The Canes flipped from dogs after the first 2 playoff games to favorites here. And for whatever it's worth, it's only a trend. I don't think it's worth a lot. But Miami's 1-8 as a bowl game favorite in the past 20 years. And, as a favorite this season, I think the Hurricanes have been a little fragile. They were 2-touchdown home favorites against Louisville, lost. Obviously favorites at SMU and lost. I don't really love the way Carson Beck's playing, 103 and 138 yards passing in the first 2 games. I think that's by design. They've been conservative because when Beck needs to ramp it up, oftentimes he screws it up. And I think Mark Fletcher's been the focus of the game plan so far. I think basically what this game's going to come down to in general is if the Ole Miss offensive line can protect Trinidad Chambliss enough in the pocket to let him get around, move around, make some plays, I think the Rebels are going to be fine. They're going to have a shot to pull the upset here. If Ruben Bain, Akeem Metzidor, and that pass rush are all over Chambliss all night, I don't think Ole Miss is going to get it done. And we saw that happen to Marcel Reed in the first round. He got sacked 7 times. The Ohio State offense actually moved up and down the field. I think Ohio State had, 332 total yards, 287 passing. When the Buckeyes got in the red zone, they were breaking down. So like I said, I like Ole Miss plus 3.5, but I don't love it. As far as the Indiana game, it's interesting. The first time these teams played this season, I was on Oregon plus 7.5, and I listened to VSiN all week, and it was like everybody was parroting the same things. When Indiana had to step up in class last year, they lost to Notre Dame and Ohio State, blah, blah, blah. Well, I said, this is not last year. This Indiana team's a lot better than it was
way better
previous year. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people realize that, but they realized it too late, right? And most people realize it too late. You want to be ahead of the curve as a handicapper or better. You want to be ahead of the curve on teams, not late to the party. Now I feel like a lot of people are jumping on this Indiana band. Oh, look, Indiana crushed Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Love this Indiana team. I saw Indiana. It's interesting. ESPN put out a clip yesterday. Feinbaum and Stephen A. both love Fernando Mendoza as the number 1 pick. Look, these guys didn't even know he was a quarterback in Indiana 3 months ago. They didn't have, Feinbaum might have known. Stephen A. had no idea. But the point is, everybody's jumping on this Indiana bandwagon now. It's overflowing. As Nick Saban used to say, the rat poison, the media hype, they're blowing smoke up their butts. I think this is one of those classic situations where you want to look at the other side. You've also got more than a 10-point line move. First time around, that line opened 7.5, 8. It closed 7. Now it's 3.5. And I typically would be all over this. I just hate to bet against Kurt Signetti, man. The guy reminds me of Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs.
Did you see his expression when Alabama tried the oldest trick in the book on 4th down, just trying to jump the walls? Did you see? I'm reading his mind, and he's like, Man, y'all gonna try that BS on some other, low rent operation. My guys know not to watch the ball in fourth and less than 5.
Hey, man, Hannibal Lecter smiled at the end when he was going to get to Dr. Chilton. I don't think Signetti smiled yet.
I'll never forget that final scene when Hannibal Lecter's getting off the plane, or no, he was in Bimini in the Bahamas, and the doctor was getting off the plane.
Yeah,
He
Dr.
said,
Chilton. Yeah,
I'm having a friend for dinner.
Yeah, one of the best endings ever.
Yeah,
that was a good one. But I will say that in the first meeting between these teams, quarterbacks did not play very well. Dante Moore threw 2 picks. Mendoza threw a pick 6. Indiana actually only ran the ball for 111 yards on 37 carries, 3 yards per carry. But the Hoosiers got it rolling right now. It's a tough team to bet against. I've actually got Oregon 8-1 to win the whole thing, and Indiana 10-1. I was hoping they were going to be on opposite sides of the bracket, but I'm okay either way. How that ends. I think Indiana's going to win the game by a field goal. Look, the Hoosiers, I bet against them twice this season, and once was at Iowa, the second time was at Penn State, and they were lucky to win both of those games. They're not infallible. They're not unbeatable. Even though it's looked that way recently, I think this game's going to go down to the wire.
Noted Rotten Tomatoes contributor Matt Humans with us each and every week at this time. So let's continue on the NFL. Give me your best bet or two for this week's wild card.
Best bet is the same team for the second week in a row, and that's the Steelers on Monday night. And I took 3.5 with the Steelers. And it's funny because last week I took 3.5 and then felt like a fool because I was over at the Westgate Superbook and the number got that up to 4.5 right before kickoff. And I thought, man, the Sharps are all over Baltimore. I got a bad number. It turned out to be another wild game, and the Steelers find a way to escape. But Steelers have this incredible Monday night trend where I think they've lost once at home on Monday Night Football since 1992. And for whatever that's worth, I'm not saying that's worth a lot, but the Steelers have been playing, looking for my notes for this game, the Steelers have been playing much better offensively, aside from the Cleveland game, when Aaron Rodgers was awful. That was his worst performance of the season. With Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell out of the backfield, Rodgers can make a lot of short throws, are more effective running the ball. DK Metcalf is coming back. I think there are some more positives to this Pittsburgh offense than a lot of people want to admit. And what you're going to hear is this Houston defense is nasty. Nasty. Well, it's not really nasty lately. The Houston defense allowed 21.8 points over the last 4 against the Colts, Cardinals, Raiders, and Chargers. And the truth is the Texans were lucky to beat the Raiders at home a few weeks ago and needed a couple bogus bailout calls from the officials to actually win that game. C.J. Stroud, always a question mark for me, and I know the Pittsburgh defense broke down a couple of times, a few times actually on Sunday night. But you had to deal with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, who was playing well, and some more weapons there. I don't think this Texans defense or offense strikes a lot of fear into people. The defense not playing as great as a reputation. The offense doesn't concern me that much. So I'm actually going with the Steelers plus 3.5 on Monday night. As far as that goes, I can tell you there's sharp money on the Rams. I love the Rams to win. I don't love them to cover that game. There's sharper money on the Packers. I don't really have an opinion on that one right now. There's sharper money on the Jaguars. They've won 8 in a row. I like the Eagles to beat the Niners, but there's no way I'm laying that number. And I'll tell you there's sharper money on the Chargers catching 3.5 at New England, even though I don't love that play either.
All right. Any college basketball team? I'll give you one of mine first and kind of tell you what I'm looking for here. Maybe a team that's living on borrowed time or a team that's about to, to kind of surge a little bit that you're looking to back. I've looked at some of the Saturday's card, but a team like Texas A&M is living on borrowed time. They win the conference opener barely, 50-50 type of game coming down the stretch. LSU was without their starting point guard who leads the SEC in assists, so he's kind of important to them, and they pulled that one out. And then 2 nights ago, have you seen a 7-point dog outscore an opponent on the road by 27 in a 6-minute stretch? That's what they did at Auburn and turned a 16-point deficit into an 11-point lead. A&M, I mean, the first-year coach from Sanford, nice job, but I just think it's living bar time. Porter Moser in Oklahoma getting about 4.5 or 5 Saturday. Any teams like that to fade or back in college basketball right now?
That's interesting. Did you guys happen to watch the Michigan-Penn State game a couple
Yes.
nights ago? Did you see
Yes.
the end of that game?
Yes.
I cannot believe that Penn State fought that entire game to get within 2 and have a shot to win it. That horrible final play and hopeless shot they threw up there in the final 15 seconds. That's just incredible to me. You have a shot to knock off Michigan, and you have your point guard dribbling around in circles for 15 seconds to throw up a wild shot at the buzzer. I can't believe that.
Matt, it's one thing when you chasing, and then when you get in a position to close it out. Two
Right.
totally different things. Yeah.
Well, Mike Rhodes is typically a pretty good coach. I mean, did he fall asleep in the last time out? I don't know what the hell happened there. I haven't seen anything quite like that. I think Indiana's a team you got to look at and say probably a little bit phony. The Hoosiers, I like them somewhat, but they really have not stepped up in competition many times so far. And talking about Darren DeVries and that team, Indiana, I believe, is 3-1 right now in the Big Ten. That team's going to take some losses. I think Iowa's a team going to be on the rise in the Big Ten, even though the Hawkeyes just got upset at Minnesota. The point guard Bennett Sturt's got in foul trouble and set out the entire first half, and they dug a big hole. I don't like it when a coach sits a star player when he has 2 fouls in the first half, and that's what Iowa did in that game. That's a good question, Jimmy. I'd have to think about it a little bit more. I mean, I've been betting college basketball pretty much every night. I don't love the schedule tonight at all, and I don't see much on it.
Nebraska goes to Bloomington.
Saturday yet either.
Nebraska goes to Bloomington. Nebraska goes to Bloomington on Saturday. Projected to be a short number on that one, undefeated with Hoiberg, who,
that's that's interesting because we talked about that in the show a couple nights ago. This Nebraska team's due to take a loss.
Right,
too.
right.
I did not bet Ohio State there, but Indiana might get them, so I may retract what I'm saying there. I think Nebraska, if you watch, offensively, not that impressive. Hoiberg's done a hell of a job, but that Nebraska team's going to start to take the loss, too.
All right, Matt, we appreciate it. Next week, we'll break down the Neil Diamond cover act in that new movie. So we're looking forward to that, you and Charlie. See you, Matt. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Tomorrow, we're at Rufino's. Today, we're wrapping up right after this here from the original Walk-Ons, where it's never too early to reserve your spot for that crawfish boil this spring. Live at lunch, live at the original Walk-Ons, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Caesar Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesar's rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and...
Whenever you're ready.
It's rolling.
Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road. We're recapping Ole Miss and they play Miami, huh? Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road. We're recapping Ole Miss in Miami, looking ahead to Indiana, Oregon, and the NFL playoffs. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Friday from Rufino's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
20 or even 8 by 40 feet, not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Let Sammy's Grill do the cooking for your holiday feast. Fried or rotisserie turkeys with all the traditional sides. Pepper jack, crawfish, cornbread dressing, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, boudin rice dressing, macs and cheese, and more. And for dessert, white chocolate bread pudding or pecan pie. Order a la carte or bundle up with our turkey feast that feeds 8 to 10 people. Call or stop by either the Highland Road or Prairieville locations to place your order today. Orders must be made 48 hours prior to pickup. Let Sammy's Grill do all the cooking for you this holiday season.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle.
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away go troubles down the drain.
Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony is taking it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, my last pick is going to be on the Canes. I think the team that runs the football better will win tonight, and I think that will be Miami in a close game out in the desert. What say you? Last words.
I like Ole Miss.
You like Ole Miss?
Yeah, I think it's a pick'em game. I'll take 3 points if you're giving it to me. So Ole Miss has been the more consistent team throughout the course of the season. They've got the more consistent and better quarterback. They got the best player in college football right now. So, and I think they will offset their pressure with some quick things with Chambliss, and also just like they did against Georgia, move him in the pocket at times as well.
Don't take offense if I root against you. Okay.
You root for your team, I root for mine. There's no doubt.
Tomorrow we're at Rufino's on Highland Road. Hope that you're there with us. For Jordan back in the studio and Jimmy Adam, Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.